Hello. Alrighty. It's been a while. Been focusing on work and business, so I haven't really spent much time on the Civic. So I am going back to stock ECU with K-Pro or Honda. I forget which one I'm going to use. But that means I need to go cable throttle. I picked this up. It's an 88 Civic pedal box, pedal assembly. It's kind of gross, so I'm gonna disassemble it, clean it up a little. I'm gonna take off these sweet pedal extenders and just kind of give it a nice little clean up and put it in the car. Buenos tardes. Okay, this is the sort of put together pedal assembly. I sprayed it silver. I don't know why. It's actually technically engine enamel. So I've got the bracket sprayed. I've got the pedals reassembled. I've got the hydro adapter to switch to the hydraulic clutch from the cable. Running into a bit of a snag for the final install. There's I believe it's called a clevis pin that rides on this. And then this threaded rod, let's see if I can get a shot of it going on, sits like that onto the rod. I'm sorry, this threaded piece won't focus. It's threaded on the end, it goes on this rod, and it slides onto here, and there's a little pin that goes through it. The problem being that at full, I guess, compression, so no foot on the pedal at all. Compression of the pedal, I guess, I'm not really sure. But anyway, it doesn't reach. So I've got a couple options. I can modify the pin, the connector point, or I can modify the shaft, or I can modify the pedal. Both of these don't seem like a great idea. I brought out some of my flat steel and considered remaking this piece, and realized it'd have a bunch of geometry. I don't even think I'd be able to get the tabs to work. It would be a nightmare probably to recreate and then actually make it longer. So what I realized is it's probably in my best interest to just modify the pedal. And the other thing I've noticed is that if you look, technically this should be true to or collinear to the master cylinder. So that it should really be on the same plane, but it's not. And so by recreating or adding a few inches here and just going on top of it, I won't have to worry about like realigning or doing anything wonky. I can just probably weld this straight onto the pedal and then just drop a hole in it, and that should mate pretty well with this. It's a little narrow, so I'm gonna have to probably double it up and drill. And like, it's not a huge deal. I don't think the pin makes perfect, or the normal thing, like the normal connection point doesn't make contact. You're really, there is a bit of play in it, but you know, anything you can take out is always nice. So yeah, that's probably a stopping point for now. I should be done with the pedal assembly this weekend. All right, this is the final product so far. The steering bracket was sprayed silver. I stuck with it, it looked okay. I cleaned up the pedals. This one had a bunch of rust, so I sanded it down and primed it. I'm working on some pedal covers, but I'll probably just try to order some factory ones because I kind of like the look and feel of the stock ones. I got the new bracket for the hydraulic conversion finished. To get it to work, I just drilled a hole through the pedal for now. I mean, the action seems to be fine. I'm not exactly sure if the pedal arrangement is gonna work. It looks pretty gnarly from this way. I mean, it's pretty uneven.
So we'll see. I mean, I can mess with it. The goal though is just to get the car driving, and then I can iron out the details as we go. And so yeah, this is ready to go in the car. I'll get some footage of it in, and look at that. Yeah, it's not gonna work. The pedal is way too low, and it hits the end stop. But it's all good. I'm starting to see some errors in the design already. The throttle cable's getting smacked on the fuel line. So that's not gonna work, which is fine. It looks like garbage anyway. I just don't want any connection points inside the cabin. I was trying to keep the fuel connection outside the cabin. So I know it's ugly to look at, but the connection points are still outside. If I bring it any further in, technically I should just switch to braided like AN lines, or I could just run tubing. I could lock the tubing down, but then I should really go under. I don't know, but let's focus on the problem. The problem is that the pedals need to come up, which means I need to adjust the clutch pedal. Then pull the clutch pedal up about a couple inches. I'm not exactly sure I'm gonna do it, but I'll figure it out. All right, this should do it. I ended up extending the bracket. Just cut out some plate steel or some like bar steel or whatever it's called, I guess plate, and extended the ends where the factory holes are. So technically this should still work if I need to swap it back for any reason. And then since I was able to extend it, I ran it back on the original spot for the linkage where like it's supposed to go. While I was waiting for the paint to dry, I just flat spotted a bolt and put a cotter pin in it for the mechanism. And I mean, action seems fine. Normal throw, maybe a little bit of an angle issue, but pretty good. I'm happy with it. I'm gonna probably mount up the spring, maybe give it a better home than it had, but really this is it. I might have to get a clutch switch installed for the car, but otherwise the actual mechanisms are basically done. All the pedals work. The heights are now about where they should be. The brake might need to come up a little, but the clutch is sitting on its end stop. So like I know the clutch is right where it should be. So I can just kind of, and the gas I think doesn't really have an adjustment. So I can maybe bring up the switch on the brake pedal. I got it kind of mounted wrong here, so that probably has a bit to do with it. But yeah, otherwise it's finished. I'll get it bolted in the car, and then throttle cable and throttle body, and then that should really be it. I mean, I shouldn't have a reason I can't start it other than that. I have the factory ECU, which I don't have any of the tuning software for yet, but I mean, so what? At least I should be able to get it running. Okay, see you on the next one.